In this video, I'm going to be discussing red spikes. It's very similar to red peaks, except just the opposite. The basic definition of a red spike is zip red is down and under 50. Zip yellow is down and above 50. Both the red spike and the red peak are highly flexible, and they can appear in a variety of conditions. It's obviously best if, for example, a red spike, which is both of them are reversal patterns, but a red spike is down and it's going to reverse price up. And so if we have the 7 short-term trend lines going up, then the next day candle, green candle, is typically bigger or longer, and or we have an extended multi-day uptrend. And so red peaks are typical one-day patterns for sure. Sometimes they're strong when you find them with good conditions. They're a very high probability pattern. They almost, I mean, it's 95, 98%. And so in this, as I've done in some of the other videos, I used 2 different charts. Right in this area right here, we are in July of 2016, and we are in the Apple symbol. And the other chart, if I flip to it, looks like this. It has the price chart, the trend chart, and the zip chart at the bottom, whereas this one here has the zip chart at the top, the power chart, and the swing chart at the bottom. Now, the first one I'm going to discuss is on the right, and that has zip red at 22, zip yellow at 83. This is a classic red spike pattern. It's just, it has a nice high yellow amount value, and as a result, next day is a nice green candle. In this particular case, we have all 7 short-term trend lines going up. The power green and orange are up and above 0, and the green and red swing chart are up and above 0. And that's important. If you've heard me talk about these short-term trend lines, when, for example, green and orange are going up under 0, they're not as strong as when green and orange are going up and above 0. There's more power in the orange and green lines when they're above 0 going up versus when they're under 0 and going up. Same is true going down. They're more powerful under 0 than they are above 0 when they're going down. If I flip over to the other chart, you see here in this first vertical line on the right, we have the trend trio, yellow, pink, blue, all in a above 0 pattern, which, as I indicated before, all 7 short-term trend lines are going up. And for example, when the trend trio is above 0 and running flat like this, if you notice after this first red vertical line, the next few days it runs flat, but the price candles are going up. So it just being above 0 is indicative of an uptrend as well for the trend trio. The next one on where the cursor is right now has a zip red at 3 and a zip yellow at 75. Again, the trend trio and the other lines are all up, and although red is zip red is nice and low at 3, and that's great, and as a result, it's indicative of what happens next day. Notice here, the 2 days after this vertical line, we have a red doji candle, And for some reason, it's typical that red peaks last for one day. Not always. Some people just like to hang on, and they would ride this uptrend for 3, 4, 5 days. Some people like to get in and get out at the end of the day. So whatever your style, just keep that in mind. A red peak and a red spike are typically one-day patterns. The third one has the the trend trio under 0, and the zip red is at 26 and the zip yellow is at 40. So technically this one doesn't qualify for for the standard under 50 over 50 rule that we use, but there are other places in the documents that I've talked about. Zip yellow should be above 35. And just to kind of give you a bottom, zip red is going down. They're both we're in a spike situation. Zip red is at 1, 2, 3, or 4, and zip yellow is in that 40 range. And that again will be in next day up. The key is finding that red pattern that looks like it's going to go up the most the next day. So, because if you get a candle that rises 30 cents versus one that rises $2, makes a big difference in your margins. Now, the last one I'll talk about here in Apple is over here on the left. Again, that one has a zip yellow high, and that zip yellow is at 82, the zip red is at 21. I'm going to flip over to this other chart and point out to you one of the conditions here that we see as a downtrend, and that is zip yellow and power yellow. When both of them are highest and both of them are going down, you have a downtrend. When both of them are lowest and going up, you have an uptrend. And so we look, even the day that this vertical red line occurs, when we have the red spike, on that day both of those lines are highest. And although they're not going up at that, up at that point, the next day they do go up. On this day also, one thing that happens is you have a decent gap down to start out with I think a flat bottom green candle. Oh no, there's a couple pennies that when it hit a low on, it's not quite flat green. But in any case, you had a nice green candle the next day, but immediately after that we were in a downtrend. So there are some nice examples of the red spikes in Apple. That was in July of 2016. They occur all the time. They're real high probability moves. You can count on them. Just pick your entry point simply by going to a 2 or a 3 minute chart and wait for your candle activity on a green candle, anticipated green candle. And if you do that, you'll catch those situations where you could have significant gap ups coming down when you thought you were going into a price scenario. So great pattern, both the red spike and the red peak.